This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good night, Prema McKeever. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I am doing so well, thank you, Engel. How are you?
Oh my, I forgot to tell you, my name is actually pronounced Angel.
Angel.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's
Oh
okay.
my God.
Believe me, there are worse things that happen in the world. So we can start over and let's go from the beginning, yeah?
Okay.
Never mind that. It's okay. Trust me. Good night, Prema McKeever. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I am doing really well, Angel. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. Thanks for asking. What part of the world are you in right now?
I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, up in Canada.
All right.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Beautiful part of the world. Beautiful.
Yeah, we said beautiful at the same time. Yeah, it is beautiful there. I wouldn't go into details. We'll get lost in the conversation. But it is beautiful. It was one of my most favorite locations on my trip.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Tossan. Yeah. Is it Tossan? Tossan. Do you know?
Tawasan?
Tawasan, yeah. Tawasan.
Yes, Tawasan. Yes, out on the coast. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Well, tell us, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history?
Well, I think it has to be by the fact that I lead transformational workshops that are focused around healing trauma and connecting to our bodies and our feelings. And I believe that's how we became connected.
Ooh, who did you learn that from?
Well, I have studied with many, many very fine teachers. I've actually been very blessed in my life. I started off in Chinese medicine and studying with some really wonderful masters in San Francisco. And then I moved into trauma healing work, and I studied with breath work with Giten Tankoff, and I've also studied with Peter Levine, who's very famous for his somatic experiencing work, and many other really wonderful people that are deeply committed to helping us heal our minds and bodies and create a safer, more loving world.
Why would you suggest other people do that as well?
Well, why people should study it or why people should go and work on their own trauma? Yeah. I would say, let's talk about why people should go work on their own trauma. Sure. Because we'll have a much freer life. Trauma in one way keeps us locked in the past. It keeps us locked and oftentimes in feeling like we can't do things, or we're more in a place of fear, or a feeling of helplessness, or just a feeling that our life is somehow restricted in different ways. And the more that we're able to go in and heal the previous past experiences, the more we're able to kind of connect with what happened to us as children and how that impacted us and shaped us as adults. One, the happier we're going to be, but also the less likely that we're going to pass that on to the next generation. We'll be better parents. We'll be better friends. We'll have more healthy adult relationships. We'll find more fulfillment in the world around us, and it'll be easier for us to connect and enjoy our lives.
For someone that's listening, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
It would be going to my website, sacredinquiry.com. I have lots of resources on there, links to YouTube videos, blogs, things that I've written in the past, recordings. There's lots of really good, helpful information, particularly if people want to look at how did what happened in my childhood impact the adult I became today.
Tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
I love that question. I would have to say that I learned to say yes without knowing the reason why. And what I mean by that is if there was just like a small little yes in me, it didn't make sense why I was agreeing to something or why I wanted to explore something or go somewhere or talk to somebody. But if there was a little bit of a yes, like some juice, some energy for it, I didn't question it. I didn't have to research it or think about it too much or wonder how's this going to fit into the bigger scheme of my life. I just said yes and followed the flow of energy for the past 3 years. And that's made a huge difference for me.
How does it make you feel looking back from then to now?
It is, I gotta say, I mean, I could not imagine The life I have now, I could not have imagined 3 years ago. I get blessed to travel around the world and lead workshops in many different cultures with people from all places I had never even thought of visiting before. I I get to hang out with remarkable people and learn really interesting things and be part of this grand healing experience. And 3 years ago, as an acupuncturist in an office in a private practice in Dallas, Texas, I would never have imagined that as my life. But it was by following a series of yeses that my life has turned out the way that it has. And I often go, why am I saying yes to doing this training or going to this place or meeting with this person? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't fit into my map of what I think my life is supposed to be about. But each time it has been the exact right thing to do.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Wow. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm afraid to say yes most times. Like, I think 12 things before I say yes. I will do this test for 12 days and see what it brings about. How about that?
Yeah. But you've also said amazing yes to doing this podcast. And to keep doing it and keep going with it and all the ways that you've grown through it and all the people you've met and all the connections you've made and all the really important information you brought out into the world. That was a lot of yes.
Definitely.
Wasn't there times you wanted to say no more, but then something inside of you said, yes, we have to continue?
Yeah, for sure. So would you agree then that it varies for each individual, the passion that connects to who they are and the yes they say?
I think it does, but I used to be much more of an analytical mind where I really had to have solid reasons for why I was doing what I was doing. I didn't do things just out of a curiosity or a passion or an inkling even. Definitely not an inkling. I had to have a plan. I planned everything out. And it was really a matter of listening to my heart and my belly, like really following my gut instinct on something rather than defaulting back to what my mind thought would be the most logical, best answer.
I can agree fully with that because the analytical mind that I usually walk in would not have journeyed across 48 states and Canada in 12 weeks.
Yes. I mean, what analytical mind thinks of something like that?
Exactly. But yes, I totally agree. Love it. All right. Well. All right, Prema. Let's switch gears for a moment. Let me now invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water.
Ooh.
What's your earliest childhood memory?
Oh, my earliest childhood memory. This is, it's going to sound so strange. I remember sitting in the back of my mom's car, and I was probably about 4 years old. And I remember thinking, when I grow up, I want to sit with people and teach them how to breathe so they never die.
Wow. How old were you?
I know where we were living at the time, so it had to be either 4 at the latest 5. I had this idea that I would sit with people, and I had this whole vision that I would hold their hand and teach them to breathe so that they would never die.
Why do you think this memory stuck out and stays with you?
Well, you know what? One of the ways that I work with people to release trauma is through breath work. So I do teach people how to breathe. And not so they never die, obviously, but so they can live a fuller life.
If we spiral out at the way you look at that imagery where you're sitting in the back of the car, how do you see that memory connecting even more to who you are today?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. So if I spiral out from it, what I see is this little girl who really wanted to connect with people and really wanted to somehow, even at that young of an age, wanted to help people and also wanted to really help ease pain. Yeah, she had a feeling back then that she even wanted to be a healer without even knowing it. Yeah.
Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind with that memory? Did I do that too quickly? Yeah, it's like, what did you just say, guys? Slow it down a bit. Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind with that memory?
Please, yeah.
I love the concept of being in yes, even though you didn't realize it. And I think as a child, like we do not have many options of no. So you're in the car. You said with your mother, right?
Yes.
You're in the car with your mother, and it's an automatic yes. It's like, hey, we're going, or yes, yes, and you're in the yes of
Mm-hmm.
your life. But I am also amazed by the fact that you are being transported, the travel, if you would, by that yes. And you said earlier on in our conversation that there's so many places that you've gone to, so many places that you still go to, and it's because of that yes that you're living in that space of yes, which is pretty intriguing to me.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
Super cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Oh gosh. Well, I grew up in Minneapolis, and Minneapolis was Prince town. I went to the same junior high school as Prince, so it would have been a Prince song, either like "Let's Go Crazy" or "1999." One of those songs of Prince. Absolutely.
All right, my friend, what is your right on? But before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Prema?
Yes.
Prema, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes, I have. I actually teach courses all around the world, and I have many students.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Do you have children?
No, that did not happen for me in this lifetime.
Do you believe in God?
Yes, I do.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Oh, yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Never.
How about 3 hours a week?
No.
What about screen time, the phone and the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Probably less than 8 hours a day, unless I'm seeing a lot of clients on Skype that day.
All right, Prema, if you had to share with us your own unique, real statement, a statement that represents who you are, Prema McKeever, what would you say that is?
Well, I would say, growing up, we had to really shape ourselves to our parents and our environment, and we had to learn how to hold back parts of ourselves or hold up parts of ourselves, but that's not who we really are. And that finding out who we truly are underneath all that shaping is one of the greatest joys in our lives.
Prema, again, this was such a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I want to thank you. I really appreciate the time to come on, and I've enjoyed really talking to you. And this is just beautiful what you're doing. I love the connections you're making with people around the world, the past, the future, and what it all means.
Thank you very much. Together, we take one deep breath. Again, thank you, my friend, for being on what is inspired by 12-minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.